Welcome to Life Stories, where sometimes the people who raise you are the first to betray you. Imagine showing up on Thanksgiving with your mom's favorite pie, only to be told you're no longer welcome in your own family. No explanation, no chance to defend yourself, just a silent room full of people who've already decided you're guilty. But what if they were wrong? What if the ones pointing fingers had secrets of their own, secrets they were willing to bury you to protect? This is the true cost of broken trust, of silence where love should be, and what happens when a daughter no one believed turns out to be the only one telling the truth. Stay with us, because by the end of this story, you might question what family really means. Let's begin. The pie was still warm when Cassie Wright stepped through the front door of her childhood home. The scent of sage, roasted turkey, and something faintly sweet like cinnamon hung in the air. Thanksgiving at the Wrights was sacred. Roasted traditions, hand-me-down rituals, and that one pie recipe her mom swore by. Extra nutmeg, a pinch of clove, and just half a teaspoon of maple syrup. The real kind, not that store-bought corn sludge. Cassie had driven 3 hours in near-zero visibility to bring it, carefully boxed, balanced on the passenger seat like an offering. It was supposed to be a homecoming. Her boots clicked softly against the hardwood as she entered the dining room. The table was already set with her mother's crystal dish, the one used only once a year, steam rising from the stuffing, the gravy boat glistening with amber fat. Josh leaned against the window frame, staring out like the yard might offer some sort of escape. Megan sat straight back at the table, hands folded as if in prayer, though grace hadn't been said. Her eyes, always lined with mascara too heavy for family dinner, were rimmed red this time. Crying? Cassie smiled anyway, lifting the pie ever so slightly. Mom's favorite, she said, voice light, practiced. Her father didn't smile back. He turned slowly from the stove, wooden spoon in hand like a gavel. His jaw clenched before the words dropped like a sentence. Give back the 50,000, Cassie. Then, colder, or don't bother coming home again. The pie tray tilted slightly in her hands. For a moment the words didn't register. 50,000 what? Was this a joke? Some new family tradition, twisted and bitter? She scanned the room, waiting for a smile, a wink. Nothing. Her mother, soft-spoken, cardigan-clad and known to cry at dog food commercials, refused to meet her eyes. What? Josh stared at the tablecloth. Megan blinked slowly, like she was watching a car crash in real time but couldn't look away. Dad didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Don't make this harder than it has to be. The pie suddenly weighed too much. You think I stole from her? Her mother still said nothing, just lifted a napkin to her lips, dabbing away whatever was rising inside her. Disgust, sadness, guilt. Megan spoke, her voice clinical. Mom's account, 50,000, disappeared last month, right after you helped her set up online banking. Cassie's breath caught. That Sunday, she'd sat with her mother, walked her through passwords, security questions, showed her how to check balances. They'd laughed about how she didn't trust the cloud, and written everything down in a little notepad. Kitchen drawer, far left. She remembered the floral cover, the ink smudges on her mom's fingers. You can't be serious, Cassie whispered. You really believe I'd do that? Josh finally spoke. Bank confirmed it. All withdrawals were online. Nobody else had access but you. Cassie looked at her mother again. Her face was pale, distant. Betrayal, she realized, didn't always come with shouting. Sometimes it just sat there, quiet and unflinching. I'm your daughter. No one argued. She set the pie down gently on the counter, the tin clicking faintly against the granite. Then she picked up her coat, still warm from the drive, and walked out without another word. Outside, the world was bathed in the golden hush of early evening. Paper turkeys fluttered on windows. Children laughed somewhere down the block. Her car smelled like cinnamon and betrayal. She didn't cry, not in the car, not at the motel with its humming soda machine and scratchy sheets. She just stared at the ceiling, mind racing. Not through the accusations, but through the process. She was 34, a senior forensic accountant for a Fortune 500 firm. She'd built cases on embezzlers, unraveled offshore shells, sat across from men who smirked while signing confessions. She knew how money disappeared, and more importantly, she knew how to follow the trail. By morning, Her laptop was open on the motel desk. Lobby coffee in hand, she typed fast, fingers steady. She hadn't told her family, but her firm was currently investigating a network of elder fraud. 3 withdrawals under the reporting threshold, spaced days apart, just enough to avoid alarms. Cassie requested data from Theo, her firm's compliance officer. Nothing official. Just a name, a date range, and a bank branch. By lunch, she had it. 3 withdrawals, all in person. All from Greenwell Mutual. $20,000, then $15,000, then $15,000. Teller IDs attached, video footage available. She clicked the first link. The image was grainy, but the figure was unmistakable. Blonde ponytail, oversized sunglasses, gray hoodie. The woman stepped up to the counter, pulled down her mask, and smiled nervously. She handed over ID, signed a slip. Cassie paused the footage. Megan, she clicked the next. October 15th, Josh. Calm, confident, no disguise, no shame. The third, Megan again, different sunglasses, same signature. She sat back, the motel light flickering above her. Her breath came slow. This wasn't just betrayal, this was strategy, timing, precision. The online access wasn't about theft, it was camouflage. She was the alibi, the fall girl. The worst part, it was working. Cassie opened a folder she usually reserved for court, a thin black zip-up, clean edges. She filled it with screenshots, teller slips, metadata from the online logins. One IP address matched Megan's Netflix account. The recovery email listed a phone number that belonged to Josh. They didn't just steal the money. They built a narrative. One everyone believed. Except Cassie. That night, she didn't sleep. She watched the ceiling, counting breaths instead of sheep. In her mind, she saw the pie still sitting on the granite counter, untouched, cooling in silence. She wondered if anyone had thrown it away. And when dawn broke over the small town she used to call home, Cassie zipped the folder closed. She wasn't the villain, but if they wanted one, she'd show them how a real one worked. What do you do when your family believes the worst in you without asking why? Can the truth ever repair what blind trust has already broken? She was done being the scapegoat. The next time she stepped into that house, she wouldn't come with pie. She'd come with proof. The drive back to her hometown felt different this time, like retracing footsteps over a crime scene. Except she wasn't the criminal. Not really. Not yet. Cassie parked at the curb, not the driveway. That felt important. She sat in her car, hands resting on the black folder in her lap, watching the soft glow of the kitchen windows. Megan's compact car, Josh's Jeep, her mother's old sedan, slightly crooked in the gravel. All of them were home. No guests, just family. The word felt foreign now. Inside, the house smelled like rosemary and chicken broth, familiar and wrong at the same time. The kitchen buzzed with the low hum of conversation, chatter, clinks of dishes, a laugh that didn't belong to her anymore. She stepped inside, her boots tracking faint droplets of rain. No one turned at first. Then silence. Megan sat on the counter, swinging her legs like she was still 15. Josh leaned against the fridge, arms folded. Their mother was at the sink, drying a dish like it was any other Monday. Her father stirred something on the stove, too casual, like he didn't feel the storm walking in. Cassie walked straight to the island and set the folder down. "You believed I stole from Mom," she said, quietly. "Let me show you what really happened." No one moved. The air tightened like it was holding its breath. She flipped the folder open. First, the still frame of Megan at Greenwell Mutual, signing a withdrawal slip, her sunglasses hung crooked, her mouth twisted in that familiar half-apology, half-defiance expression Cassie knew too well. October 10th, $20,000. Not online. Not me. Next, Josh, calm, confident, grinning. October 15th, 15,000. Cassie's voice wavered, not with weakness but restraint. "These aren't screenshots. They're security footage. Your faces, your signatures." Megan's fingers tightened around her mug. Her jaw clenched. Then she said what Cassie wasn't expecting. "You went through our stuff." Cassie tilted her head. "You went through Mom's." The words were soft, but they struck harder than any accusation. Her mother's hands trembled. She reached out, picked up the document slowly, as though touching it might burn. "But the bank said it was done online," her mother murmured. "They told me it was your access." Cassie nodded. "That's what they assumed, because the first online login came from the house Wi-Fi, not your phone, but a tablet. Registered to Megan's email. The recovery number was Josh's. Her mother sank into a chair like the truth had weight. "You let me believe my daughter would steal from me," she whispered, not to anyone in particular. That was the wound Cassie hadn't prepared for. "You told me not to come home," she said, "and you never even asked if I did it." Josh finally spoke, his voice flat. "You'll be fine, Cass. You make more than all of us put together. We were just—" He trailed off. Like there was any way to finish that sentence with dignity. Megan didn't look away this time. Her expression twisted, not in guilt but bitterness. "You always get everything," she said. "The job, the praise, the clean record. I just wanted to level the playing field." Cassie stared at her, blinking once. "You didn't level anything," she said. "You burned it." Their father finally turned from the stove. Aka's face was pale, drawn. "Cassie, what are you going to do?" That was the question, wasn't it? Her grip tightened on the folder's edge. She had the proof. She had every reason to press charges, to ruin them the way they tried to ruin her. It would be easy. It would be just. But something stopped her. Not mercy, not forgiveness. Something murkier, deeper. Cassie looked at her mother, seated and silent, surrounded by the children she no longer fully recognized. Her shoulders slumped under the weight of a house full of ghosts. "I'm not pressing charges," Cassie said finally. "But I sent the file to the family attorney. You can decide what to do with it." A beat passed. Then her father nodded, slow and tired. She closed the folder, neatly, precisely, like she'd done 100 times before in boardrooms and courtrooms and deposition tables. This one felt different. "You told me not to come back unless I returned the money," she said, her voice quiet but sharp. "I didn't take the money, but I brought the truth." She turned toward the door. "Cassie," her mother's voice cracked. Cassie paused. "Thanksgiving's over," she said. "You all made sure of that." And she left, not in a rush, but with finality. She didn't take the folder, didn't take the pie, just her keys, her coat, and whatever part of her still remembered how this house once felt like home. She made it to the car before the tears came. Not the kind you sob into your hands, but the quiet kind that slip down your cheeks without permission. The kind that leaves salt stains on your collar. As she drove away, the town blurred past, twinkling lights, faded flags, the diner that still served the same pancakes. She didn't look back. What would have been easier, vengeance or absolution? She wasn't sure, but for the first time in weeks, her hands stopped shaking. She had survived the accusation. Now she had to survive the absence. How do you heal from a betrayal that was never meant to be forgiven? And if justice doesn't bring peace, what will? Cassie may have walked away from the fire, but the ashes were still warm, and sometimes what rises next is far more dangerous than what burned. Continue to Part 3. Winter came quiet that year. Boston wore its cold like a memory. Steel skies, brittle wind, and the scent of pine from sidewalk vendors selling Christmas wreaths. Cassie moved through it all with a kind of stillness she hadn't known before. Not numbness. Just changed. Her mornings were structured, precise. Coffee at 7, inbox at 7:30, meetings by 9. No more Sunday family calls, no notifications from the family group chat. The silence was a kind of relief until it wasn't. The folder, the one with the security footage, the timestamps, the digital footprints, sat untouched in the drawer beneath her mortgage papers. Some nights she'd open the drawer and look at it, not to read, but to remind herself it happened, that it wasn't a fever dream stitched together by heartbreak. And then, 2 weeks before Christmas, the letter came. It was handwritten, no return address, just her name, in her mother's looping script, and a single photo folded inside. 3 kids on a back porch in October sunlight. Cassie, age 6, with straw taped to her sleeves. Megan with foil wings and a crooked halo. Josh, red paint from head to toe, grinning like the devil himself. On the back, "We didn't know how much we would miss you until you were gone." No signature, no apology, just that. Cassie stared at it for a long time. She didn't cry, not at first. But that night, she dreamed of the kitchen. The island where her mother used to roll out pie crust, the smell of cinnamon and cloves, her father humming out of tune while basting the turkey. And she woke with the ache of something she couldn't quite name. Loss, maybe. But not just of a family. of the version of herself that still believed in them. She didn't reply to the letter. Instead, she went to work. She launched a community seminar at the college, protecting seniors from financial exploitation. Nothing fancy, but word spread fast. Retirees came with questions, with stories. Some had lost a few hundred, others had lost everything. And every time someone leaned across the table and said, "I wish I had a daughter like you," Cassie smiled and nodded, and said nothing about how once her mother had too. On the last Saturday before the holidays, just as snow began to dust the city, Cassie was packing up her notes when she spotted her mother standing by the door. Coat buttoned wrong, hair thinner than she remembered, holding a Tupperware container like it was a peace offering from a war that had no winner. "Cassie," she said softly. Cassie froze. Her mother took a slow step forward. "I didn't come to ask for anything. I just wanted to see you." There was silence, the kind that made time feel heavier. "I got your letter," Cassie said. Her mother nodded. "I should have believed you. I think I didn't want to believe the truth because it made me feel like a bad mother, like I failed all of you." Cassie's throat tightened. "You didn't fail me," she said. "You just didn't see me." Her mother's hands trembled as she set the Tupperware down on the desk. "It's pie," she said with a soft smile. "Pumpkin. I tried your version. Extra nutmeg. The syrup too. I'm not sure I got it right." Cassie didn't touch it. "Not yet. Where are Megan and Josh?" she asked. "Gone," her mother said simply. "Josh moved to Denver. Megan's with friends in Portland. I told them I needed space. I don't know if I meant it when I said it, but I do now." Cassie nodded. She didn't ask for more. Her mother looked around the room, the folding chairs and whiteboard, the dented coffee pot in the corner. "You're building something," she said. "Something good." Cassie felt a flicker of something warm beneath her ribs. "Trying to," she said. "I wish I'd listened better," her mother said. "All those times you tried to tell us who you were." Cassie blinked. That, more than any apology, hit the hardest. "You still can," she whispered. Her mother stepped forward and hugged her, tentative and shaking. Cassie didn't pull away, and in that quiet room with snow at the windows, something unspoken passed between them. Not a full repair, but the start of something more honest. Cassie didn't bring up the folder. Her mother didn't ask. Some truths didn't need to be relived, only remembered. That Christmas, Cassie didn't go home. There was no tree, no ornament exchange, no laughter echoing through drafty halls. But there was a card, one that arrived in a plain envelope, postmarked Boston. Inside, "Thank you for still being someone worth looking up to." Signed, Mom. She pinned it to the fridge beside the seminar schedule. The holidays passed. January came with cold resolve. By February, Cassie had expanded the class into a monthly workshop. She partnered with a local bank. Started seeing familiar faces, widows, veterans, a man who looked eerily like her father but with gentler eyes. She still thought about Megan sometimes. About what drove her sister to resentment deep enough to steal. But she never reached out. Some distances are sacred. Some boundaries need to remain. But when she stood at the front of that room, voice steady, facts sharp, and heart bruised, but open, Cassie knew she hadn't lost herself in all of it. She'd found something else, a new truth, one no one could take from her. What part of this story resonated with you the most? Comment 100 if this story touched you. Tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to know. And don't forget to share this story with someone who might need it. Thank you for watching Life Stories.